Please tell me. Come on. Okay. We got it. Okay. Okay. We got both. Okay, this set is the Long Night's Oath. And this one definitely has something to do with the Abyss. A metal flower that was worn by the Ratniki. What's Ratniki? A book. Russian. Wait. This is also Russian. This is also Russian. This is about the Abyss, and this is about Snezhnaya. Oh. I'm gonna add a new tab for this. Artifacts. And then this is Long Night's Oath. And sorry, I don't know why I'm looking so devious. I'm gonna shove my face just slightly more to the side. In those days, the land was leveled by the northern hunting winds, cutting down the unruly frontier folk at the behest of the despotic and in a bid to seize the power left behind by the heavenly moons. In a bid to seize the power left behind by the heavenly moons, the mad monk who spoke in a strange tongue presented a treacherous plot to the Tsar of all Fae. Tsar. It's definitely Snezhnaya. Thus were the moon children hidden in their mountain forests, scattered, sisters driven by fate down divergent paths. In the end, even the pretentious lunatic could not break free of the celestial shell. It was consumed by the bedeviled sky at the edge of delusion. But all this took place before the paradise had even come into being, for at the time it was no more than a daydream, a fantasy shared by two children beneath the moon's glow. It was not until many years later, when one of them was executed as a notorious bandit, infamous through the nations, and the other finally realized the true meaning of those words that had been left behind, as if by accident. What followed, we all know. When the long night fell, the royal court of the north could no longer mind the remote borderlands beyond the snowy plains, and so the horde of pitch-black beasts tore across the barren land, destroying all traces of past civilization. It was not until borrowing the power from the priestess of the moon children, the original torch forger, raised that first beam of light, in the name of the moon, banished the darkness to those lightless ruins, burying it deep alongside the nightmare-torn souls. When it was all over, the survivor raised a lighthouse atop the mountains, gazing far out towards the new ruler of Snezhnaya, to preserve his dear friend's pure childlike dream. The Torchforger did not shy away from defending it before the streets of court. Although he received the royal edict he sought, he also took upon himself an oath of vigilance and sacrifice. And thus began the history of the paradise known as Nod Cry. Nias. Historic Slavic title. Nias also known as... Used both as royal and noble titles in different times, is usually translated in English as Prince, King, or Duke. Okay. Princes or kings or dukes. Left behind. Okay, so I'm assuming this takes place after the death of the Moon Sisters. Although I don't know who the Moon Children are. Scatter, in the end, and the potential snow tip and outbreak through the celestial shell. Beneath the moon's glow. Norman I fell the road toward the north, can no longer remote amber lands beyond the nearest plains. Where pitch black beasts tore across the barren land, destroying all traces of past civilization. It was not until barbarian power bring these no children. Oh. So the was this? No, this was way before then. So okay. I'm gonna just write down speculations at best. Abyss destroyed civilizations / cities near Snezhnaya city. But then they repelled it. The original torch forger. And whoever this torch forger is used the power of the moons. And buried it in the ruins. Weird. Right. A person with the title of Torch Forger. I don't know why I'm taking this so seriously. I don't usually read artifact lore as much. Title of Torch Forger banished the abyss into ruins. Okay. Now this is the feather. The feather is a hat ornament intricately crafted from the feathers of a nightingale. They say this formed you can see by the original torch forger. Legends told of a nightingale carrying an ember on its beak that flew only on moonless nights, a speck of fire that would streak across the firmament like a shooting star, lighting a light in dark times. Upon the ancient ruins of a castle, a vestige of an age of pioneers, stood the high tower of the Lightkeepers, standing guard through the long night. Centuries had passed since their ancestors had stood before the Tsaritsa, swearing an oath of eternal fidelity. And the people living in paradise believed that, so long as their lighthouse stayed lit, they could live in freedom, neither fearing the chaos wrought by the pitch-black beasts, nor needing to seek refuge in the lands to the north. Then one night, a chilling sound carried over the horizon's edge. The leader of the wild hunt was absorbed, galloping across the night sky. As ever, the night watchers laid down their great animal skin cloaks, yet that day sun rose not. As rallying horns echoed through the hills, warriors formed ranks at the high tower's foot, awaiting that momentous command to march south in fulfillment of the ancient vows. Yet in the great mead hall, the current Starshinia sat in silence. Star what? Good lord, do I have to learn a lot of Russian terminology? A senior military rank. Ooh. Oh, they replaced the I with a Y here. I'm actually gonna jot down the term as well, because I'm gonna fucking forget all these. So these guys, the Niases were princes slash kings slash dukes. Okay. So, right. They built a lighthouse after the disasters in an area. This became known as the Paradise. Not cry. Not all the Russian-based terminology. Yep, indeed. Lightkeepers. Lighthouse daylights. Neither fearing chaos nor bitter peace. That one night, a chilling sound of carrier over the horizon's edge. A leader of the Wild Hunter was abroad, not absorbed. Wild Hunt. Hunting winds. Wild Hunt. An Abyss Horus? Ooh. For already a mighty host, bright as the midsummer's day, had reached the cities. Warriors of the Pale Star, why do you choose this moment to knock at Pyramida's gates? There's a lot of Googling. Pyramida. Ah, it means a lot of things. Okay, I'm not too sure about this one, so I will not jot this down just yet. Even you have no right to revoke the sacred powers bestowed upon us by Her Majesty Tsaritsa. Though they claimed to be reinforcements, these uninvited guests had ulterior motives, as the Starshinia knew full well, but to yield at this juncture would spell the end of the autonomy they had upheld for centuries past. For beneath the lead officer's mask came a voice, low and cold, and in its wake a mocking laugh from parts unknown. That is where the dark calamity began. Remember, Snezhna, I cannot bear the weight of your defeat. Warriors of Nightingale, fight with all your might, yet, should none of you return, then we will take care of the aftermath. Let's see, so Abyss still eventually overwhelmed Not Cry's defenses somehow. A mysterious faction comes to assist. The fight. So Nightingale is a warrior for Not Cry and their conflict with Snezhna. I suppose. There just seems to be like a like a divide between Non-Cry and Snezhnaya. Damn, maybe Non-Cry and Snezhnaya being separate may actually come true. Unless the plot of Snezhnaya is us resolving the tension between Non-Cry and Snezhnaya. But then again, the main thing going for Snezhnaya is also still them combating the celestial beings. Bronze bathhouse carried by a warrior would walk through the dark abyss. Its peal can be heard on pitch black. Oh. The air was thick with the scent of blood, as if signaling the return of a great war by which the earth has been scorched. With a great mournful wail, that army of spirits flew across the pitch blackness of the night sky. According to the folk tales spread throughout the countryside, they were said to be demonic hosts from another world seeking a harvest of souls. Others believed them to be the lingering phantoms of that ancient nightmare. This was the calamity that people of the borderlands referred to as the Wild Hunt. If it had been no more than a summer storm ravaging the sky with thunder and lightning, it might have seemed a bit small mishap to a accustomed life of adventure. But when that tempest, the likes of which had not been seen for a century, poured down on the earth like black blood rain, only then did people realize that the terrifying legends which had been passed down by their ancestors were mere stories meant to frighten children, but born instead of terror that coursed through their veins. But in the end, it was the terror that someone had to face, lighting the way for the souls wandering through the boundless dark. A black-feathered flock of crows moved between the realms of light and shadow, led by one who stood against the light. His sword he silently raised, the face reflected in its sheen as sharp as the unyielding as the blade itself. Sword. Onward pressed the oath-bound legion, though they knew they were as moths to a flame, marching into the battlefield from whom none would return. At the end of the path, only one who held the dark blade still stood. He knew that deep within the forest lurked the foul force by which the Wild Hunt had been summoned forth. Just a little more, a little further, and he would have saved the land he had sworn to protect. Lost in his thoughts, he failed to notice that his body had already been torn asunder, and that the warning bell he carried rang out hissing amidst the tearing of blood and black mud. Perhaps frightened by something chimed, the current feeders around him faltered, frozen in their tracks. Thus he left to walk alone in the abyss, to fulfill an as yet unfulfilled oath. As many years went by, a new addition was woven into the folklore of the land, that whenever mournful bells toll, it is a sign that one who swore to hunt down the Wild Hunt is approaching. Fucking Doomslayer? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. This sounds Dark Blade? It sounds like Capitano. But oh. That's weird though. Capitano's a member of the Harbingers. Was it? But then again, this was ages ago. So it could be Capitano was once a member of the Nightingale? Which means he was stationed at Nordcry. Because Nordcry is where the Wild Hunt took place. Most of the time. It's like, it appears. Okay. Capitano might have been a member of the Nightingale. Meaning he was once stationed in Nordcry. Which gives me further proof and copium that he's gonna come back. And before That's what I'm thinking. In an undisclosed time on the timeline, before he was recruited. They really made him sound like a fucking Doomslayer. Shit. Walk alone the abyss. There are similarities, so that's interesting. A horn unwinded. Okay, what's this? Those who had sworn oaths, and as long as his lost his purpose. Oh no. When the horns proclaimed the northern realm's might, the thundering footsteps shook the earth. Like iron rails stretching across the frozen tundra, sending pale flames shooting across the land. A contingent, sworn to Her Majesty the Tsaritsa, whose loyalty lay with no single harbinger, vowed to forge a pure new world beneath the white glimmering stars. Even those dwelling in the borderlands, autonomy being bestowed upon them, remained children of the motherland. For in her boundless love, the Tsaritsa abandoned none who chose to follow. In his earliest years, the warrant officer who led this border squad had held this conviction firm, until he hovered before the very gates of hell and glimpsed those souls unloved by any. The crust to strike had yet been sanctioned, but he had already made up his mind. We journeyed this far to save innocent beset by merciless calamity. How could we stand by as those pitch-black beasts devoured the land, snatching away the lives of mothers and children? If this was what those in power called an order, then to hell with it. Thus was the foul miasma swept away by the northern winds. Just as the first light of dawn pierces the cold black clouds, it glows. Once cast down by the cerulean earth below, the war had ended, yet to the high tower no triumph here returned. Only a criminal, and the children he had risked all to save. Though the plan had strayed slightly from its course, the renegade doctor paid it no heed. For the goal had been achieved. Desertion, treason against the Tsaritsa, grave crimes indeed, yet absolved by a newly sworn oath. Upon a staircase of built bones, new warriors took up their watch, there to stand till the abyss tides dried up. Ugh. Anytime doctor's mentioned. Dotori next boss? I fucking hope. I want to beat his ass. You cannot tell me they can redeem Dotori, bro. There's no way. I want to beat his ass. Let me beat his ass, please. Thank you. You cannot justify him to be a good person all of a sudden with the shit he's done to people like Kale. Come on. There's no way. I don't want to see it. Do not. He deserves none. And he will get none. Okay? So I really hope this is about Capitano saving children and bringing them back from the abyss. And sadly, the children fell into Dotori's hands. Instead of Dotori being the one saving these children, making him out to be the hero. I mean, even then, if he did save the children, it would have been for ulterior motives, because he experiments on them. I don't like these implications. So it says warrant officer, so it has to be two people. Has to be. I can't imagine Dotori playing the hero. He's just... Maybe as Zandik, he was better, but as Dotori, no. No. Fuck him. An ancient heavy helmet, it is an heirloom that bears the mark of the venerable lineage of northern warriors. It is said that the first torch forger hailed from the wintry city of the furthest north, the Nightingale's emblem a mark on his illustrious heritage. Originally engaged as spies, the family was elevated to the gentry by the Winter Sire, and thus did this man of humble origin step into the royal palace, now mingling among the fey dignitaries of the court. When the nations found themselves swept up by the calamity, the frontier regions, once the locus of high hopes during the pioneering age, found themselves bereft of God's protection. In Nodchrist's darkest hour, from the north came only a single rider clad in dark silver armor. As if knowing why he had come, the Maiden of the New Moon lit a beacon to dispel the darkness. On the eve of their departure for the Lempo Isles to the south, a grand banquet was held by the warriors in the great mead hall. Of those present, the most striking was undoubtedly a certain young warrior. Clad in a dark tasseled helmet, polearm clutched in hand. Among the Rathniki of the time, few are those who still wore such archaic, cumbersome armor. Piero? Piero polearm. For it symbolized their bloodline as descendants of those warriors who first fought alongside the Torchfolder to repel the Black Tide. The Black Tide. They're calling it the Black Tide too. Lord Jesus. You need to stop sharing names, Mahoyo. Despite having neither fief nor noble title, they continue to uphold their oaths of their ancestors. They believe that somewhere out there, the Lord of all Fae and earnest protector of all sunshine watch over them still. Amidst the sludge-sullied tundra, now soaked too in the blood of heroes, the young warrior knelt among the bodies of his fallen comrades. Sacrifice has always been the Ratniki's fate and honor, but if he could save one more soul, rescue just one other, then all the better. And so, like his ancestors before him, he prayed to an old god that no one now called upon, as well as to the Naias that he had once had dominion over. Perhaps awakened by the sound of the horn, or drawn by the long-forgotten scent of bloodshed, or maybe just out of boredom. Somewhere out there, as if in an answer to his pleas, a lone dormant phantom stirred from slumber. That ghostly blue wildfire, of which ancient legends spoke, would burn brightly in youth on fresh fields of battle. Okay. But that person was a Ratniki, which is another. Let me remind myself what the Ratniki was. Infantry combat system. It's another like combat squad. A young member of the Ratniki wearing heavy black armor and a polearm Prayed to... Old. Old gods, which I'm assuming is the moon sisters. So every piece is about a different harbinger. Huh. Maybe. This was more about the establishment of Not Cry, although there were two outliers here, the two moon children. I mean, one of them is like... One of them's dead. This one was a night... This is more about the nightingale. This sounded like Capitano, and then the doctor popped up in this one. And this one's another unnamed person, a young member of the Ratniki that prayed to the Moon Sisters, and the Moon Sisters answered back. Okay. I need to see people's theories on that one. Okay, we're gonna move on to the second piece. Now, before we run an ad though. Oh, it's already running an ad. Nice. This one's definitely gonna be about the abyss, so that's gonna be another headache. The abyss is anything but easy to decipher. Alright, hang on. Your boy will be back. Yoo-hoo. Yet the fox with a plunge attack could break faster. I don't like that design. To be honest with you, it's a bit much. It should just be the same as like the Wyobs thing, because the Wyobs thing is just kind of like you kind of have to out damage it. Just delete the bar and then it's fine, and it does its thing. Okay. Now this one. This is the Abyss. Has to be. An icy flower fashioned from the Northland jade. Over the course of its long life, its petals crumbled to dust. It looks like it, or it could be. Follow where Master's got. Oh. Wait, no. This is a whole. I think this is whole ass Skirk. Following her master's guidance, the girl ventured northward, traversing the freezing wastelands of the corridor of fractured mirrors at the edge of the frozen sea. After slaying countless monsters that wandered the ruins, finally, before the withered husk of a silver tree, she caught a glimpse of a treasure concealed beneath the drifting snow. That was when the silver moonlight had yet to be shattered in the fires of war, when the divine prophecies of the heavens still extended over the land. The youth who had ventured deep into the earth's bowels met the first angel. This is so Skirk. The first angel. The Dawn Daughter trembled at these profane words, not knowing how this mortal had uncovered such closely kept secret. But her visitor laid bare her origins before her, singing to her dreams of beauty that had never yet graced her mind. In an instant, the fetter lay upon her by the enthroned ruler broke apart like a spider's web. For the first time, she discovered what it meant to serve herself, and to the one she loved, she poured out the matter of creation, that most forbidden and unspeakable secrets. Alas, that ruler you would dare to blaspheme such noble beings. Even the demonic sculptors of bloody nightmares who delight tormenting souls would be taken aback by such cruelty. O dawn maiden who has never known love, let me stand as the enemy to your laws. Raise your eyes to the stars as you should, for the sake of all beings imprisoned by your ruler. Let me be your sword, your shield, your guide, your unpardonable conspirator in rebellion. Then did she, most exalted of the angels, bend down and kiss his forehead, as countless icy blooms unfurled in the frigid silver tree. This moment of betrayal did not go unwitnessed. For that very moment, the heavenly moons peered down through the cloud of clouds, a longing still more audacious arising within. So yokai polearm should give to Einstein then? I don't know. I haven't actually checked the yokai polearm much. I remember it is like a support polearm though. Oof, this is very vague. I know even less of this than the other set. Drifting snow among abyssal remains. Among abyssal remains? Yet she was not the first outsider. A voyager whose sentient will traverse the cosmos, once made a vow of reunion with the Lord of Dragons, yet to fall into darkness. So is it? I can't tell actually. It's a bit. Maybe it could be I'm dumb, but it's a bit hard to decipher. Because it switched from the girl's POV to this person. Being like acknowledged by by the angel. So I'm thinking... I'm gonna assume that this him is the same as her master? If not, then it might be Ether? I mean, it would be confirmed if the gender changes here, but I'm assuming it's Sertology for now. Oh shit. Sorry. Sertology once was... Right. This one was... Right. This passerby was a scribe drifting through the vast void, duty-bound never to commune with the primordial civilizations. As her undying body slumbered away in within a distant celestial disk construct, her mind had drifted through an empty expanse spanning many light years, charting countless peoples and civilizations fated to perish, pondering the ultimate truth of cosmos and eternal darkness, until a faint glimmer pierced her awareness, jolting the Voyager from tenfold millennia of meditation. It came from an unremarkable little word at the edge of the spiral arm. From the primeval dragon born outside the world. Though death would one day bring an endless night, and the sun at gaze palms beating some ember, this will bound show more unable to suppress the wonder and sorrow welling up from within, she delivered solemn pronouncement unto its ruler. I have seen the lightless end tearing through stars' clusters like a spindle among silk thread. I have seen how the cold tide of chaos drowns out all song, so that good and evil alike vanish into silence. And yet, my kind, gentle king, will you still refuse to abandon your people? Forsake this world, fated for ruin, and journey with me beyond the stars. Thus did the proud dragon reply. O friend from a distant world, I thank you for imparting these truths beyond the skies. But though in your eyes they may seem ignorant creatures, to me, they're the very meaning of this universe. If the tide of oblivion must come, then let my bones be the bulwark that shields this realm. Bearing witness to the path I've chosen, I shall lead my people onward to the stars. When the Voyager returned once more, the world she remembered has utterly changed. The bones of the earth had been bound beneath the fourfold shackles, and the soft white radiance of the sky has been split into 7 immutable hues. Like drifting smoke, and the Lord of Dragons vanished. The Winged One's throne now ruled the radiance of the 3 moons. Bewildered by the dragon's unannounced departure, yet unwilling to disturb the world's new ruler, the Voyager, defying the laws of her kin, quietly cast her... What? Vesting her consciousness in the body of a youth, she walked among these corded animals, listening to... into the world inside the ship. The body of a youth. Wait. Finale of the Deep Gallery. I need to look up if this different. If this is different. The Deep Galleries. And why does this set share a name with the sword? Okay, so that confirms that none of this is related to either of the travelers, because it doesn't change. It's always, this is always her and this is always him. So this might be Certology, being granted in the powers of an angel. But okay, so before the moons there was a dragon. What the heck? Before the moon's sisters, there was a primeval dragon that ruled the world. Wait. This one. Voyager. Wait. Wait, what? So, what the? How am I supposed to take this information? Okay, so assuming that this is Skirk, Skirk is a projection of some celestial being that's been drifting outside of the whole Tevat this entire time. And then something from Tevat piqued her interest. The unremarkable little world at the edge of the spiral's arm. The imaginary tree. This unremarkable little world might just be Tevat. And for some reason this primeval dragon caught her interest. Literature on special ability change the 7 hues. 7 hues, the 7 elements. And unfinished. Okay. So, okay. Skirk seems to be a manifestation projected by a otherworldly celestial scribe that caught a glimpse of Tevat and was curious about the primeval dragon. Conversing with the dragon, Skirk learns that the dragon would like to save Teyvat. Upon Skirk's... It auto-corrected Skirk to Skirt. No. Return. The dragon had vanished, and the Moon Sisters were now ruling Teyvat. God, so this dates back so long, though. Jesus. Defies the laws of her kin. The body of a youth. Skirk looks youthful enough. City of Gold. Now the sands. Moment of destruction. Before the Golden Tower, she got a glimpse of treasure. That's interesting. The first paragraph is always the same. But it's her finding this treasure in different places. The Master's Guidance. There was an era of now lost to memory, when the city of the far north glittered like golden threads over the frozen wastelands, and the furnaces of the deep gallery thundered day and night. Turning to forbidden methods, artisans forged countless fey spirits. And beasts, having spun fallen frostmoon and light into flesh and blood. To create was once the Lord of the firmament's divine prerogative, and yet it was handed to mortals by rebellious envoy, who dreamed that one day these little creatures might create a perfect being that could merge with the world. Having spun frostmoon light into frostmoon light clad it to forms once frail and weak. Such authority great was once the forest. Are they talking about the literal emergence of humans? My small brain sucks at processing shit like this. Within the deep galleries, which stood intact, the first angel whispered, sweet dreams of coming dawn and companion. I see a time when the earthly nations will yearn no longer for heavenly mercy. The cities they build will rise up to the clouds, higher even than the throne and the stars. I see humans sharing the vast sky with the gods they once revered. There will be no more tears, sorrow, or death, for all will be complete. Were brought down from the heavens, with final fell, and with them fell deep blue crystal spikes. The splendor of the golden city was ruined by frost-laden winds. Oh! Wait, so Wait. Does this mean... So, when Skirk first projected herself into Teyvat, she began in like very early Shnezhnaya. I think that's what this is getting at. But then, because of heavenly shenanigans, the frost nails. Yeah, I do think there's actually a connection here. The frost nail fell, and that's why Snezhnaya is in a perpetual winter. It was never supposed to snow. It's okay. It's the same thing, like half of Sumeru being turned into a desert because of another celestial nail. Shut the hell up, phone. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because see the Golden City ruined by frost-laden winds. The Golden City is what Snezhnaya once was, and we know Snezhnaya now today as this stormy place. No words, curse fall upon her kin, gaze into another's eyes, and to one alone offer the love. Then not only will there divine beauty crumble. Wait. Whoa. What? Wait. Holy shit, this is also about the angels turning into Sealies. Okay. Wait. So are they one of the same? I can't tell. But the first angel was involved somehow. The first angel wanted to see humanity thrive. But then this idea was opposed by heaven because they're a bunch of bitches. And then they're like, nope. Pyum, 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 pyum. All those frost nails and like fucked everything up. It's like, you want peace? Yeet. Try peace with these ecological disastrous spiking nails. Yes, sir. So, no, because of the nails, I don't know if it was specifically because of the nails, but the heavenly order saw this as the angels' intention to help humans as traitorous. That's weird. So the heavens cursed the angel to turn into Sealies. But isn't that's oh god. But they're the ones accepting. Then what happens to people like Vanessa? When they ascend to like, oh my god, how the fuck? If heaven's so opposed to just like humans being chill, why do they accept them into the... Oof, oh no. Okay, I need to note that other part down. Shut up. Other part down first. But this is huge. The first angel seemed to want to help humanity, but was cursed and became Sealies. Rip Bozo, says the heaven. Skirk first destination seemed to be Snezhnaya. Snezhnaya was covered in snow due to a celestial nail. Yeah. Go away, taskbar, please. Okay, so this is the goblet. Did you put your name in the goblet of fire, Harry? After slaying countless monsters. Oh, they dropped the... Oh, they name dropped Spiral Abyss. That's so weird. And this is the first time... Oh, this is the first time this line has changed. The entire second half of the first paragraph is now different. Alone she walked through the ruins of Spiral Abyss, intent on finding the trail of the Voyager that the magical Swordmaster has spoken of. The Voyager. What? That was the time when the silver moonlight still showed mercy upon the lands of the far north, and the envoys of the heavens still gazed down upon dust and mud. Having angered the divine envoys by questioning the progress of knowledge, the people of the Golden City now argued endlessly among themselves of how to quell their wrath. The priests accused each other of sacrilege in defiling their love, prosperity of bosom gods. They sought the identity to capture the chief culprit for their intention. If sin comes from the pursuit of knowledge, then ignorance is the true doctrine. If from rebellion, then only the Lamb is truly righteous. If sin must be atoned for with blood, was it said to stem from humanity? If the laws are perfect and flawless, why fear the act of inquiry? It was merely a boy of humble birth who, having somehow slipped past the watchful guards, had stepped into the chamber where the priests had convened to drop bars. All their scholarly accusations he refuted in turn. Their charges of heresy reduced to naught but angry... By a kid? By a kid? In that silenced chamber, the chief priest who wore the white branched crown finally dismissed the guards who had rushed in. O heretical speaker, if, as your eloquent words would suggest, you truly hold that grievous sin is but the delusion of mere mortals, then let you be the one to drink from this cup of burning wrath. Go to the ashen silver tree and plead your case before the very envoys who have cast judgment upon us. And so the previously unknown youth ventured forth into the deepest recesses of the earth, seeking... Wait a second. Wait. Was it ever... Hang on. I'm looking at Child's backstory right now. No, Child the character, not Child the weekly boss. Wiki? Was it specified that Child fell in? Or he went in? No, okay, it does state he fell in. Then who's this? It states he fell in his character story. But who's this young lad that decided to just go in to the abyss? And since this was still in the Golden City, this is still Snezhnaya, so it's some Russian kids that first of all decided to drop enough bars that he broke the minds of like all the guys there who were bickering, and then just, unless this is them retconning the whole thing. Okay, maybe they'll tell us in the next one. The girl ventured, after slaying monsters that wandered the ruins. Wait, then this is the only part that the entire second half of the first paragraph changed. This one... That should fail. It was an age when the unknowing masters still bow to the sky's decrees. Did you finish the quest? I damn did. I did. I'm just reading lore right now, Sylvie. You're cool. When the Dawn Star Royal Court still hung high above the clouds, magnificent, noble creations descended from the light itself, and the mortals, unable to look upon their visages, called them angels. Their pale silver wings shimmered like moonlit flames. Their heads were adorned with crowns, sevenfold radiance. Sorry, hang on. Okay. The name upon those crowns... crowns of sevenfold radiance... The names upon those crowns was the love promised unto all creatures by the heavenly God, perhaps a mandate to rule over the nations of the earth. With all your heart, soul, and might, you shall love all the beings of this earth. You shall love as morning dew longs for the dawn, as seed long for the trade winds. They're the most loyal servants in the heavenly court, flawless arbiters of justice. They wove a veil of the great ruler of the firmament, delivering sacred revelations to all the realms. Such was the duty invested upon them at the moment of their creation, or so it should have been, until the first angel met an unnamed youth beneath the silver tree in the far north, and in those star-like pupils he saw a reflection of herself that she had never known. It was a love not inscribed by law, a freedom the skies would never permit. As her heart fluttered for reasons she could not know, the eternal star-crowned forge in love's name suddenly fractured, and casting it into the snow beneath the silver tree, the Dawn Maiden made her faithful vow. Come now. Come, let us recast these absurd laws with bone and nourish these barren stones with blood. Let's rebuild a city and a tower that soars up to the clouds. The people of the earth need to weep bitter tears no longer. I cast this useless crown into the dust, and all earthly nations may be free from their shackles. Star-shaped pupils. A Conrian. A Conrian? Then this might be Piero. This might be Piero. Maybe? These last two ones are a bit hard for me to ascertain, but I'll just Right, Piero, question mark, young, sought out the first angel. I mean, Piero's been along for a long fucking time. Wow. I forgot how much they pack into